welcome to Asian Future, the show where we relate ancient African wisdom and knowledge, and we relate it especially to the current dispensation which we find ourselves in, with the advent of all the what's going on right now globally, and we connect it in the sense that all the way from the beginning of time, from the beginning of our experience as human beings, members of the human family, and of which us who are popularized as black people, and we've had a lineage of knowledge which has always been passed down from elders to those, from ancestors to descendants, and always descendants are able to get it and circle onto it from the ancestors. And a lot of this knowledge which is passed down by word of mouth, and also which is passed down in terms of the knowledge of acquiring knowledge, which is away from what is portrayed like everything that's going to be written down. And once it's written down, that's only when it's validated. Yet every single one of us cannot really put on down some of the feelings which you'll get. Like, for instance, a feeling of ecstasy. If someone tells you to really note down what it is, you can just point on things that place you there without really encompassing it all together. So much of all the knowledge which is passed down, a lot of it has to do with the knowledge that comes down from something which you perceive. It's always perceived. And even when it's written, even when it always comes with an energy. And that energy always resonates. And right now, that is why you're having everywhere around the world, there's that resonation which has come about, especially like as you see the protests that have permeated the whole planet. And that protest it's a sign. It's a sign exactly of what the ancestors of those who came before us, of them, how they told us and passed it on, that this is what's going to be happening. And the ancient knowledge which is there is mainly to show you and to show us, all of us together, that there's this and that and that dot, and when you join those dots, you're able to perceive a larger picture. You're able to perceive the roadmap to where we are as a people, and to where we're heading to, you know. So as we're saying right now, for instance, what's going on around the world with all these protests, and how brother George, how if you look at how the brother went down, yeah, um, everything about it, and that energy which brought everything together to that point is a sign. Right now, just humbly, we put everything aside. It's a sign that right now, that resonation is touching every single one of us on a global basis. And we have the option to project what we need to do in terms of tomorrow as the future. So that's why we are going to bring the ancient, okay? We are right now in the present, But right now in the present, the ancient is already here and the future is here. And that's how we are able to be to carry this into to carry it forward, to carry it as a um, as guidance. Yes, that's the right word, as guidance. So, brothers and sisters, um, a lot of our ancestors, as the many of us stayed here on the on the on the motherland. Many of us stayed here on the motherland, and a lot of our ancestors. There's a lineage of many of us who stayed here. There's a lineage of information which has always been passed down through family, especially especially through the elders, like what is termed as grandparents, okay, and it's passed down usually through selected like youngsters, and it's brought to you, especially when the youngster is very young, from the age of like about 3 or 4. They look around and they say, whoa, this is one person who's able to pass on this knowledge into the future. Okay, so they're able to feed that in, sorry, that feed that information into that being, so that that being can be able to pass on that knowledge to everyone else. And since we have always been here, we are the original people. All other civilizations, every single civilization which has come from us, and right now, the civilization, which is the Greco-Roman civilization, which is actually a baby in terms of when you put everything together, which is it's like about 2,500 years maximum old in terms of when it started to really permeate. It doesn't mean that when it got its strength, it was there like earlier on, but in its incarnation in the third quarter, after completing its third quarter, and it went into the fourth quarter, that's when it especially in the third quarter, that's when it acquired its strength. It acquired its ability to permeate the planet. And the Greco-Roman civilization, as it is a baby. It is a baby. It is a baby. And as we all know, and the only way it passes down much of this information is by writing it down. But as you know, whoever can write down any information, the truth, can also write down something which is not the truth. And a lot of what is put and being propagated within the Greco-Roman tradition is is um, is an antithesis to truth. And a lot of the wisdom, the knowledge, and which is passed down from us is much older than that, and it's been passed down from elder to the babies, and it's been passed down through word of mouth, and also through awakening, because we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. And as that, we are able and many of us who have our antennas, then you're able to tune in into that feeding, into that well of knowledge, which you drink onto it. You get it, you get it in through, you get it through a pot, and you drink after you've got it from the well. You put it in a pot somewhere, so you drink through it, and after you drink through it, you're able to show other people where you got it from, and they can go to the well and put it in pots in different areas. And that is what is happening right now. A lot of people in different areas of the planet have been made aware of that pot of wisdom, and that is why this whole protests which have happened right now, all these protests have been organic. They've been spontaneous. Have there been people who've tried to manipulate? Obviously, the Greco-Roman tradition is just full of that. It's just full of doing what goes against goes against creation, what goes against the wisdom and the mathematics, and the science of creation. So yes, they're people, but that organic has is so strong and has been so strong that it was able and it is able to silence all the noise and let that come through. And that's why you see, even when like all these what was going on, like placing stones in places so that people can become rioters, and you see how that gotten quiet down, because a lot of the people who were performing that, okay, were people who were performing it based, I'm talking about the riots, based on a Greco-Roman tradition. Yet when we come to the original, to the essence, to the source, then everything is different. And that's why family, as we're here right now, celebrating, a lot of family members are talking about awakening. Others are talking about coming into sense of self, and many of all the others have different expressions, but meaning the same thing, whereby we are aligned. Everything is aligned, and it is prudent, prudent. Yes, that's the right word. Yeah, it's prudent for anyone to be open-minded, to listen, to get rid of all the the false notions of all the gods, and someone of all what they call what has intoxicated the world. Yeah, and as I'll tell you what, get rid of that, because right now the awakening is not going to be having like this one person right here telling you what to do. There's not going to be any one person telling you what to do. Even when everything, like for instance, if I may say you a bit, go on the side a bit. Like for instance, even when a lot of the what you'd call people from the Greco-Roman tradition who have tried to get to turn the protests into a riot, the main idea of that was to harvest energy. And once you harvest that energy, so that they will be able to turn this assertion from the ancestral realm, which is saying we're recalibrating back. You have left the children to run amok. Now the parents have woken up and they're saying, order in the house. And that order in the house right now is this energy which you're seeing permeating the universe. And all this is because everything has been discordant. Even you feel it, everyone, or every single one of us, you feel it right inside you that something about this is not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. But because the parents were sleeping, and now they're awake. And once the parents are awake, that's where everything is coming into order. And this is mainly for all the family members, okay, who who have had an experience, okay, which has led us to lose a sense of self, a sense of our alignment, a sense of our unity, a sense of our oneness with creation, a sense of our oneness with our ancestors, who we are connected back into creation. And yes, you can, it is okay. It is okay to say, yes, I practice this faith, I practice that faith, I practice that faith. However, it is also okay, and it's very much okay to always listen to the inner guidance, because every single one of us has got the DNA of our ancestors, however much you wish it to be or not. So family members, every single one of us. And once you're aware that you've got that DNA, yeah, and instead of trying to actually turning around and saying, nah, I am having this DNA, but it's not part of me, and you live a life whereby you are fighting against your own self, because we wouldn't be here without that DNA. That DNA might be biological, but a lot of that DNA right now is psychic. It's spiritual. That's where most of this DNA, and that's where you see all these things going on, because the spiritual DNA has been activated. So, brothers and sisters, welcome to Asian Future, and yeah, tune in on this journey. Tune in on this journey whereby you are able to guide every single one of us, and every single one, as it's stated, that each one teach one, every single one of us. So this is a type of communication discussion which is scientific. So that means there's no like, there's no that like everything is written in stone. Everything has got to resonate. It's got to be on a vibration. That's why the ancestors are never dead. That's why our brother George Floyd, he's just moved on. He's just made the transition. He's just made the transition into the ancestral realm until his time, or until the science and the mathematics is right for him to come back into an experience, this human experience, to experience it again. And until the time, he's within the ancestral realm. And peace and love to Brother George Floyd, and peace and love to also his family, and peace and love to everyone who's out there. And let's remember, just because it's peace and love, it doesn't mean that everything is in a cuckoo world. No. Peace and love is everything is systematic, everything is scientific, and sometimes it can have highs, it can have lows, it can have passion, a lot of passion, and also it can be very absorbing, something that's analytical, and it can also be something which is in a sense of a willingness and a humbleness to learn. So yes, peace and love, blessings, much love, letters.